Welcome to the deep dive. If you've been keeping an eye on smartphones, foldable phones have just come such an incredibly long way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
From ambitious, maybe slightly clunky concepts.
Right. To something really quite polished now. Today we're jumping into Samsung's latest, the Galaxy Z Fold 7, and maybe their most pivotal foldable yet.
I think you could definitely argue that.
So our mission is to really unpack this new foldable. We'll stack it up against the older models, see what makes it potentially a real game changer. We're going to focus on a few key things.
Hmm.
This, extreme drive for thinness,
Mhm.
some really big camera upgrades, and a whole lot of AI baked right in. Plus, there's this one strategic change, kind of big one we need to talk about.
Definitely. And these changes, they're not just small tweaks. They seem like a direct shot at overcoming those old perceptions, right? That foldables are too niche or bulky or maybe fragile.
Exactly.
By hitting those points so hard, Samsung's basically saying, look, the Z Fold 7, it's ready for everyone. It's not just a cool gadget anymore.
Okay, let's get into that design then, because, wow, the numbers are pretty monumental.
They really are.
When you look at thickness and weight, it's just
Yes.
dramatic. The Z Fold 7, folded, only 8.9 millimeters. Unfolded, it's down to an incredible 4.2 millimeters.
Almost disappears in profile, doesn't it?
It really does, and the weight is just 215
At
grams.
least it's key.
To put that in perspective, the Z Fold 6 was already slimmer, but this is, 26% thinner when folded compared to the Fold 6?
It's a huge leap in one generation.
And almost 50% thinner than the original Galaxy Fold. Nearly half the thickness. It's kind of mind-blowing.
It really puts that progress into perspective.
And this is the stat that really jumped out at me. 215 grams. That's actually lighter than Samsung's main flagship, the Galaxy S25 Ultra.
Lighter than the Ultra.
Sorry.
Yeah, that really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? A foldable being lighter than the traditional candy bar flagship.
Right.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how this constant push for, making it smaller and lighter, it finally makes the Z Fold 7 feel, well, normal in your pocket.
Yeah, like a regular phone.
Exactly. Not this bulky novelty anymore. It's a real alternative that just happens to give you a massive screen when you need it without that usual bulk penalty. It's sort of the foldable promise finally realized, maybe.
And the hinge has been so central to getting there. We saw the hideaway hinge back on the Fold 2, then the linear movement, the flex hinge on the Fold 5 that closed the gap, the symmetrical one on the Fold 6. Now, for the Z Fold 7, it's the armor flex hinge.
That's impressive.
Yeah, made of grade 4 titanium lattice. Samsung's saying it's not just stronger, but it's crucial for hitting that thinness and making the screen crease even less noticeable.
Less crease is always good news.
Definitely. And on durability, some nice upgrades too. Still got the Armor aluminum frame, Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the back. But the cover screen now gets Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2.
Ooh, ceramic too. That should be tougher against scratches and drops.
Supposedly much tougher. And the big one, maybe, IP48 rating.
IP48. So dust resistance finally gets a proper boost alongside water resistance.
Yes. Improved dust and water resistance. After years of worrying about dust getting in hinges.
Oh yeah, the dust anxiety was real.
This feels like a really significant step for everyday usability.
Absolutely. IP48 just means less worry. You can, actually take it places without feeling like you're handling something super fragile.
Yeah.
Maybe still avoid burying it in sand, but...
Probably good advice. But it's that peace of mind, isn't it?
Exactly. Huge improvement there.
Okay, but let's pivot, because here's where it gets really interesting, maybe controversial. Samsung dropped S Pen support for the Z Fold 7.
Whoa, okay. No S Pen?
Nope. They've basically said the digitizer layer you need for the S Pen adds thickness. Simple as that. So it was a direct trade-off. S Pen or maximum thinness.
That's a massive call. The S Pen was a big draw for a certain type of user, right? The power users, the productivity folks. Does Samsung risk alienating them? Or is this just, the price of going fully mainstream, sacrificing the niche for broader appeal?
It's a really tough balancing act, isn't it? My feeling is, well, the S Pen was always extra, right? Sold separately, no built-in slot like the Ultra.
True, it wasn't fully integrated.
So maybe Samsung looked at the data and decided, okay, to make this thing appeal to everyone, we need that super thin design above all else. Prioritize the universally appealing form factor over the specialized tool.
And you have to imagine competitors are pushing them too, like the Honor Magic V series getting so thin.
Definitely. That pressure is real. They needed to respond, and they went all in on thinness this time. Okay, let's talk displays. because they've expanded things here, too.
Bigger screens.
Yeah, the cover screen sees a big change. It's now 6.5 inches FHD plus resolution, but the key is the new 21.9 aspect ratio.
Oh, wider. More like a normal phone screen.
Exactly. Compared to the narrower 6.3 inch on the Fold 6, this wider format should make it way better for just, normal phone stuff. Typing, quick replies.
That's a common complaint addressed right there. The old narrow screen could be a bit fiddly.
Totally. And the main display inside, that's grown too. It's now 8.0 inches, up from 7.6 on the Fold 6 and 5. Still QXGA plus resolution.
So more screen real estate overall.
Yep. And both displays are still dynamic AMOLED 2X, still got that smooth 120 Hz adaptive refresh rate.
Nice. And brightness. That's often key, especially outdoors.
Good point. The main display hits a peak of 2600 nits, same as the Fold 6 actually, but still very bright. Uses that Vision Booster tech for better outdoor visibility.
2600 nits is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it supports 10-bit HDR, so colors and contrast should look really good.
So connecting the dots here, these display upgrades, especially that wider cover screen, they seem aimed squarely at making the Fold more practical day-to-day.
Absolutely.
Less friction, less feeling like you have to open it for simple tasks. It makes the whole foldable idea feel less like a trade-off and more like just a bonus big screen.
Well put. Now, under the hood, the engine. The Z Fold 7 gets a serious upgrade. It's running the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy.
The Elite version. Okay, so that's the top-tier custom chip.
Right, and Samsung's claiming some big performance jumps. 38% faster CPU, 26% faster GPU compared to the Fold 6's Gen 3 chip.
Wow. 38% CPU boost is substantial. That's more than just an iterative update.
It really is.
And that powerful chip. It's not just for speed, is it? I bet it's heavily tied into the AI stuff.
Exactly. Samsung says it's specifically optimized to boost the AI capabilities, which, as we'll see, are a huge focus. Allows for faster on-device AI processing.
Right, so AI features feel snappier, more integrated, less reliant on the cloud maybe. Makes sense. It sets the foundation for all those smart features.
And RAM and storage. Pretty standard stuff, mostly. 12 GBs of RAM is the base, but there's a 16 GB option, too.
16 GB is nice for heavy multitasking.
For sure. And storage options are 256 GB, 512 GB, or up to 1 TB. Consistent with the last few years, plenty of space.
Yeah. Seems well spec'd across the board. That combo of the Elite chip and plenty of RAM should handle pretty much anything you throw at it, especially those AI tasks.
So let's talk cameras. This has always been maybe the Achilles heel for foldables compared to traditional flagships, right?
Historically, yeah. Often a step or two behind the top-tier candy bar phones.
Well, the Z Fold 7 seems to be tackling that head-on. The big news. A 200-megapixel main wide-angle sensor.
200 megapixels. Okay, so they basically ported over the main sensor from the S25 Ultra.
Exactly. Same sensor. Quad-pixel AF, OIS, the works. Samsung's claiming 4x more detail and 44% brighter images than the Fold 6's 50 MP camera.
But that is a massive upgrade for the main camera. It directly addresses that foldables compromise on cameras argument. Putting the Ultra's main sensor in is a strong statement.
It really is.
Though, it's worth remembering, the other cameras, are they upgraded too? Or is it mainly the primary sensor getting the love?
Good question. The ultra-wide is still 12 megapixels, and the telephoto is still 10 megapixels, with 3x optical zoom going up to 30x digital. So those seem consistent with previous models.
Okay, so a huge jump for the main camera, but the supporting cast is more familiar. Still, that main sensor upgrade is the headline grabber.
Definitely. And the front cameras, there's a 10MP one on the cover screen.
Yep.
And inside, also 10MP, but they've gone back to a hole punch design.
Ditching the under-display camera.
Yeah, moving away from that 4MP under-display camera from the Fold 6 and 5. Probably a good move for image quality, even if it's less seamless visually.
I think most people would take better selfie quality over a slightly hidden camera, honestly.
I agree. And video specs look solid, too. UHD 8K at 30 fps, slow-mo, 10-bit HDR video. Pretty comprehensive. Now, power. Battery life is always crucial, especially with these big screens. The Z Fold 7, well, it keeps the same 4,400 millifold dual battery as the Fold 6, 5, and 4.
4,400 millifold again. No increase there, despite the bigger screens and faster chip.
Yep.
So that efficiency of the new Snapdragon 8 Elite chip becomes absolutely critical then, doesn't it?
Has to be.
The expectation must be that the chip is so much more power efficient that it can handle the larger displays and higher performance without needing a bigger battery, maybe even improving battery life overall.
That seems to be the bet Samsung's making. Focus on hardware efficiency to manage power consumption, address those battery drain complaints from past models.
It's about working smarter, not just bigger, with a battery. We'll have to see how that plays out in real-world use.
And charging speeds, also consistent. 25W wired fast charging, about 50% in 30 minutes. 15W fast wireless charging, and the 4.5W reverse wireless charging, wireless power share.
Standard Samsung flagship charging speeds then. No surprises there.
Okay, let's shift focus to what might be the biggest differentiator this year. AI. The Z Fold 7 isn't just about the hardware. It's positioned as a major leap in AI integration.
The software taking center stage.
Totally. It launches with Android 16, One UI 8. And importantly, Samsung's sticking with their promise of 7 years of OS upgrades and security updates.
That's great longevity support. Matches their other flagships.
But the really bold part is this deep integration of Google's Gemini AI and Samsung's own AI tools. AI isn't just a feature, it feels like a core pillar here.
So what kind of AI features are we talking about?
Well, there's an AI mode in Circle to Search that's apparently enhanced, more multi-step. You can ask more complex things, like get live help with a mobile game you're playing just by circling it.
Interesting. Deeper contextual help.
Then there's Gemini Live integration. It hooks into Samsung's own apps, calendar, notes, reminders, so you could point your camera at a concert poster, and Gemini can pull the details and add it straight to your calendar.
Oh, that's pretty clever. Seamless integration.
Yeah. And you can even share your screen with Gemini for live help while you're doing something like browsing or trying to figure something out online.
Like having an AI assistant looking over your shoulder, but hopefully less creepy.
Hopefully. Then for photos, you've got Photo Assist and Generative Edit, the AI stuff for moving or erasing objects, changing angles, filling backgrounds. Familiar, but maybe improved. Plus a new Suggest Erases feature that spots passersby and suggests removing them.
Making photo cleanup easier. And audio.
Audio Eraser. It's designed to detect and remove unwanted background noise from your videos, wind, traffic, that kind of thing.
That can be really useful for creators.
Definitely.
And what's compelling here is how these AI features could really shine on that big Z Fold 7 display, right?
Exactly.
Imagine using that large screen for, say, side-by-side editing, seeing your original photo and the AI-edited version simultaneously, or having Gemini assist you on one half of the screen while you work on the other.
That multi-window potential is huge for AI.
And Samsung's including 6 months of Google AI Pro access, too, with Gemini 2.5 Pro and video generation tools like VO3 Fast.
Yep, bundling that in. It shows they're serious about making AI a key selling point. It's not just AI on the phone, it's AI really tailored for this unique foldable form factor.
Makes sense. Leverage the hardware strengths.
So wrapping this up, the Galaxy Z Fold 7, it really feels like a statement piece, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
We've got this radical redesign, super thin, larger, brighter screens. Finally, a proper flagship main camera, that 200 MP sensor, is a big deal, all driven by the powerful Snapdragon 8 Elite and just packed with AI features.
And that big strategic decision, dropping the S Pen support, it really highlights Samsung's push for the mainstream, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Sacrificing that niche power user feature to perfect the slim, universally appealing design. It positions the Z Fold 7 as arguably their most mature, maybe least compromised foldable yet.
Yeah.
It tackles those long-standing foldable pain points head-on.
It really feels like they're trying to push the form factor beyond the early adopters now.
For sure, into the everyday user's hands.
So the big question for you listening, what does all this mean for you? This relentless drive for a normal phone feel in a foldable, combined with top-tier camera tech and all this AI, does it change how you see foldable phones?
Yeah, is this the one that finally makes the foldable concept click, not just as a cool gadget, but as a genuine challenger to traditional flagship phones?
Is the Z Fold 7 the device that finally tempts you to make the switch? Something to think about.